Hi friends, Christine here. Welcome to episode 15 of Quilting on Caffeine. It is so strange to be doing a vlog episode. It's not a Vlogmas, it's not a Vlogtober, it's not a Watch Me Quilts. It's like it's a good old-fashioned sit and chat. Too bad I don't have more to chat about. Oh man. It has been a while since I've been here though, so I wanted to stop in, share a couple of things, talk about maybe what I'm gonna do this year. We'll see. So, it's been a rocky start to 2022. We are all healthy, so knock on wood about that. Now the dogs are gonna bark because they thought that that was the front door. Hold on a second. Okay, so 2022. We had one day of in-person learning before my youngest got sent home for distance learning. And that one is about as well as I expected it to go. Let's just leave it at that. But now everybody is back in school. We are more than halfway through January, but what are you gonna do? I am taking a filmmaking class right now. And I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie. It is an intense class. I knew that when I signed up. I didn't think that I was going to. When I signed up, Omicron wasn't surging. It felt like I signed up before Vlogmas, so November. I knew about it before Vlogmas, so I feel like in my head I wasn't prepared to necessarily be like living 2020 take two. But we are now moving out of that phase. Some stuff, okay, very little happened in my world during that. I mean, I had planned to like launch a website, jump into this film course, I was gonna go all out. I did not go all out. But I did conquer my scrap bin while we were here. That's gonna be a whole separate video though. I conquered my scrap bin. And I have decided that I am not a scrap quilter. I said it. I do not want a scrap bin anymore. I think I enjoy picking and pulling fabrics way too much based on the project to actually enjoy scrappy quilts. I love looking at other people's scrappy quilts. I love scrappy quilts. I don't want to make them. And I have proof of this because I have over on the other side of this table 6 in-progress scrappy quilts. Now, they're varying scrappy quilts. They are from books such as this. This is a great, if you are a scrappy quilter, this is a great book. You can see I even have pieces of fabric in said book for scrappy quilts. I have another one right here. This block, this scrappy windmill block, is a challenge I started with my former guild. I had the best intentions, but it's just not me. So, 2022, ironically enough, I am going to finish this windmill scrappy quilt because I have so many little pieces of fabric. So many. And this is actually what I did love about this is that this is a great leader ender project, you know, when you need to start and finish chain piecing with projects that are not what you're chain piecing. So that actually worked really well for me. My machine likes it when I have a starter and an ender. let's just leave it at that, especially because I tend to pick a lot of projects that require sewing seams that are bias, and bias is the right word, right? On the diagonal? It's not. I have a lot of angled seams, and my machine hates that. I'll have to try to remember to look that up later. So I'm gonna finish that. I have another Scrappy project I think I'm gonna try to finish because it's too far along for me to walk away from it. It has too many fabrics that it's on my design wall over there. If I can straighten it up before I edit this video, I will shoot a little video of that too. But don't worry, you will see it at some point. Too many of my favorite fabrics to actually say, like, just throw it away. Like, I can't, it's too far along. I can throw away a scrap bin of fabric, maybe, or maybe not, we'll see. Can't throw away an almost completed quilt. But 2022 is also going to be the year that I let go of things like this. Another great book. I'm sure whoever I give it to will really enjoy it. This is not for me. I've decided that if I'm gonna scrap quilt, I really just want it to be from stash and not from the scrap bin. So there's that. That is probably the only thing I've determined about this year. I might be a little terrified to make any goals this year after 2 years of like life getting in the way. I have resolved to drink more coffee though, so you'll be happy to hear that. It is one of the biggest joys of my life, and we could all use a little more joy, right? So, moving on. So, I have to, besides Scrappy quilts, I have to finish some things. Off the camera is 4 quilts that need binding. They've needed binding for months now. I don't enjoy the binding process. To the point where I know people who bind quilts. As I was saying, I know people who bind quilts, like you pay them to bind your quilts, but I haven't even brought myself to do that. Maybe I just need to do that. Food for thought. So anyway, 4 quilts need to get bound. The Scrappy quilt, one of them needs to get finished. So I'm not starting a new quilt right now. That said, I might be starting a new quilt. But for a reason, because I want to actually use it as the subject of my film. For my film class. So, stay tuned for that. I'm trying to think of other ideas that don't involve starting a quilt, because I have learned that the film process is enough of a challenge. I don't need to also be doing quilts in the middle of it. But that said, this came into my local quilt shop. Okay, let's see if I can do this. It's been a while. I mean, right? Look at that. So this is First Light by Ruby Star Society. It is a collaborative collection, which I believe means all of them partook in it. I have used on one of those quilts that's not binded. I have actually used one of these prints as the backing, so you will see it again in its glory. Where is that print in here? I think it was this one. My friend Erica will tell me if I'm wrong, if I lied on video. So, this had to be purchased. We weren't even distance learning at that point. I just was having a bad day. But I think that I'm going to do this pattern by Robin Pickens that I've had pinned for way too long with that. And with some stash, not scrap, stash fabrics that I have hanging around that fit. I thought I'd pulled them out, but clearly I did not. That fit in this palette. So that is my dream sewing. I have done no real sewing. Whatever I sewed last for Vlogmas, which was the Christmas quilt, is the last thing I've sewed. And that, whatever the last clip was, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. That was like literally the last time my sewing machine has been on. That is a really long time for me. Like, that's been multiple weeks. Now there's Christmas in there. We went to visit my parents out of state, which was, you know, stressful because it was when things were really starting to take off, illness-wise. And then we came home, and then we were immediately distance learning. So I have not sat, hold on, sorry, FedEx. So what was I saying? I haven't sewn in weeks, which feels like a really long time. That might be why my anxiety is like up here. But I will get back to it. I'm just overextended. So in other news, the latest issue of Curated Quilts is out. This issue was called Collaborate. So their mini quilt challenge call was collaboration or combination or both, a little bit of both. My quilt was a little bit of both, and it was chosen. You knew that's where I was going, didn't you? So here is, I'm gonna try to get this. There's my quilt. I'm going to read what my submission blurb was because I thought a lot about it and I need more coffee before I can repeat it clearly. The intent behind this quilt is to represent the many different pieces or parts coming together as a whole and moving forward. That's my combination aspect. I collaborated with my family on this because they have been my steadfast team all along. But I also incorporated techniques I've learned in the myriad of Zoom classes I've taken the past 18 months, and I consulted with some quilty colleagues. And here is the finished results. I freaking love this piece. I think I love it because my family was like in it on collaborating with me. Sorry, I did not lint roll it. The piecing was was improv for me, very improv-y. But I also just love the quilting where all the pieces are coming together. I believe, actually I know the palette they gave us was the lighter colors that are the background in here, and then this taupey color and this gray color. But the other colors are picked by my family, and it's funny because the palette that they kind of created is very representative of them and me and us as a whole. So yeah, there you have it. So that's fun. So that was exciting to get that little bits and bobs in the mail. And it's actually a really great issue. I can't wait to, I have not had a chance to sit down. I have not had a chance to actually sit and focus and read a single thing. So that's not 4th grade ELA work. Neither here nor there, but this color palette is like my jam right now. It's similar yet different on these 2 covers, but it's calling to me. So there might be something more that way soon. Knitting. Let's move on, Christine. You're babbling. It is not blocked, so I will not call it done. But it is off the needles. Okay, so this is the Chelsea Yarns Advent Scarf. It is Motley Zags. So it's not the Chelsea Yarns Advent Scarf, it is the Chelsea Yarns Advent knit into a scarf. I should be clear about that. It is the Motley Zags scarf found on Ravelry. So many ends to pull in. This is gonna take a lot longer than I thought. Let's turn it this way now. This is probably my favorite section. It is so almost done. It is so long. I did increase the repeats based on a suggestion from my friend Erica. So instead of doing 5 or 6, I was doing like 7, 8, or 9. I did leave out a lilac ball of yarn that if you watched my Vlogmas, you know I was not thrilled with. And I just decided it was like going to be too much of my least favorite color. And I feel like this is a perfectly acceptable amount of lilac. So that is my one and only finished object this time. Go around, but I'm happy with that. I did cast on another project that's like a mindless. I have not made it very far into it. It's the Camp Wilkerson Shawl by Boylan Knitworks. Yes. It's just like my nighttime, like my mind won't shut down knitting project. So I'm not even going to share that because it's barely anything yet. But I did receive this book for Christmas. And in my dream knitting world, to complement my dream sewing worlds, I am dying cast on this shawl right here. It is Knitprovisation by Stephen West. I have had Stephen West on my bucket list for a long time, so when it came to this book, which has a lot of really good things in it, I knew that's where I was going to start. And then once I finished that, I'm going to cast on this sweater right there. Dream knitting. I haven't done a lot of knitting either. I mean, I finished this, which was a huge accomplishment. But I'm looking forward to digging into this after I sew. There's a lot going on. What else? I told you I didn't have a lot to chat about. I think I'm just trying to find my pace this year. Not even find my pace, just find like, I feel like I kind of slid into this year And now I need to like find my rhythm and my mojo and my sojo and get rolling, because there are a lot of things I want to do. I just think I am exhausted. I was sick last week too, not COVID, but sick. And I know it wasn't COVID because we were close contact. We're getting like close contact calls every other day, so we do a lot of testing here. But yeah. What are you guys up to? What are you doing this year? I feel like I normally jump into the year with such like well-defined creative goals, and I'm just not feeling it this year. Luckily, Lunar New Year is February 5th, and we celebrate that in my family, and maybe that will be my new year. Maybe I'll have it together by February 5th. That's a goal. What else? I don't really... So here's the problem, I think. I think I want to spend this year educating others and empowering others to become modern quilters. And I am not sure how to go about that. The Christmas quilt top that I completed during Vlogmas, I have promised to write up how I did it to a few people. So I'm gonna start there. I do not want to become a pattern designer this year. So that was a big statement, and while I think it's really where my heart is at the moment, it's hard to like make an action plan on something that kind of terrifies you. There's a nail gun next door, which is, I guess, the perfect reason for me to start to wrap this up. So that's where I'm at. I have one finished object. I have some plans. I have some to-dos before I do the plans. I had a fun little share, so that's not too bad. And yeah, I do have a film. I'm working on the Scrappy film for class, so I will have that to share soon. Maybe, I hope. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll be back with vlog number 16. Which would not be a bad thing. So the theme of this vlog, scattered and overextended and not nearly caffeinated enough for a channel called Quilting on Caffeine. Thanks so much for stopping by today. It was lovely to have you over. Next time I hope to be a little less scattered, a little more productive, a little less crazy outside, a little calmer inside, all good stuff. But for now, I wish you a fabulous weekend. I wish you a productive weekend. I hope that you have winter weather if you want it, or no winter weather if you don't want it. And next time, I will have progress on a scrap quilt to share. Bye.